Kenneth Okonkwo suddenly has became such a prodigal son that has made himself available, to now cast stone to the long quest by the people of the Southeast, to be fully reintegrated into the political chessboard in the Nigerian politics since more than 50 years after the Civil War, that the fact that the Nigerian president from Igbo extraction is not just justifiable, it is something that is in accordance with equity, justice, and fairness.
Comments by actor and politician Kenneth Okonkwo have sparked debate within opposition circles after he suggested the African Democratic Congress is unbothered by recent political developments and dismissed reports surrounding Peter Obi as politically inconsequential. The remarks have triggered strong reactions among supporters of the Obedient movement and reignited conversations around coalition building, party loyalty, and the future of opposition politics ahead of the next electoral cycle. Now, for more on this and the wider implications for Nigeria's political landscape, we are now being joined from our Abuja studio by human rights activist and prominent Obedient voice, Okere Nnamdi. Good to have you on the program. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, Nigerians. Good afternoon to all Obedient family members and OK family members.
Now,
Thank you so much, presenter.
Yeah, you're welcome. Now, Mr. Kenneth Okonkwo recently suggested, that the AC is not losing sleep over Mr. Peter Obi's defection and that the Obedient movement may not even carry the weight, it may no longer carry the weight that many Nigerians assume it does. How would you react to that?
Well, my brother Kenneth Okonkwo has joined the league of acrimonious and disgruntled former spokespersons, who eat what they vomited. If you see what is going on in the social media, people are replaying his video where he projected the visions and aspirations of Mr. Peter Obi for a new Nigeria that is possible, a new Nigeria that works for all, a new Nigeria where corruption will not be the order of the day. Peter Obi recently said at the ADC convention that Nigeria is not poor, that Nigeria was looted into poverty. Kenneth Okonkwo suddenly has become such a prodigal son that has made himself available, to now cast stone to the long quest by the people of the Southeast, to be fully reintegrated into the political chessboard in the Nigerian politics since more than 50 years after the Civil War, that the fact that the Nigerian president from Igbo extraction is not just justifiable, it is something that is in accordance with equity, justice, and fairness. That long quest, for an Igbo man to have that sense of national loyalty, as prescribed and stipulated in the Constitution of Nigeria, Section 14, subsection 3, that provided the principles of federal character and that prohibits predominance in governance. Peter Obi never wants to campaign on the basis of where he come from, but on the basis of his competence. And these are the issues Kenneth Okonkwo projected, 3 years ago. And today he's just eating what he vomited. And in fact, he had joined the reign of mockeries and the Daniel Bualas, who was recently messed up in London, by Al Jazeera. So people are playing, his thought in 2023 and his recent thought. I wish him well with his newfound love, but then it appears he's not ashamed of himself, because after he granted this interview on Arise Television, he also went to Channels Television to do similar thing. He was irrational in his thoughts, and is bemused, in his submissions, before Arise Television. So let me take that responsibility. I was with him recently at the Supreme Court during the ADC judgment. We sat together. Let me take that responsibility to be ashamed on his behalf, since he's now a shameless prodigal son. Kenneth, my brother, I'm ashamed on your behalf. And then the issue of Peter Obi, if you listen to him, he made two points. He said that Peter Obi, that he does not understand Peter Obi's position on national issues, and that he's not even sure that Peter Obi will defend his own vote if he wins the election. Look at a man that projected somebody's manifesto. You say you don't understand his vision. Vision of P2B, as he recently stated, that if I will change party 20 times to do the right thing, I will do it. Doing the right thing is not a leprosy, if I will borrow the language of President Bl0w H0t, who has looted this country dry and is still looting, still borrowing, and they are borrowing to loot, not even borrowing to invest, so that the money you borrow can be repaid. So if I borrow the worst infamous word of President Tinubu that has looted this country, changing political parties is not a leprosy. It occurs with Section 40 of the 1999 Constitution. The Constitution empowers Nigerians to belongs to any political party of their choice for the protection of their interests.
Right.
If you marry it with Section 221 of the Constitution, that has provided that only political parties shall be the only institutions that will put somebody on the ballot paper, you now find out that what P2B did was answering to the clarion call that he must be on the ballot paper so that Nigerians will have the opportunity to vote for a new Nigeria, for a Nigeria that works, for a Nigeria where accountable leadership will be provided. Because when the head is rotten, it triples down. If the president is not corrupt, I wonder the kind of Nigeria we will witness. If God help us, Nigerians, to have P2B, at the helm of affairs in 2027.
Well,
because if the president is not corrupt, corruption will be finally eliminated in this country.
Barrister, well, you have no evidence that the president is corrupt. You have no evidence that the president is corrupt. So let's leave that aside. Of course,
I am in court. I am in court with President. I am in court with the government of President Bl0w H0t.
Well, of course, there's going to be a lot of discussion
over the contract, over the
discussion. It's giving scorned lovers that are angry and are speaking too loud when there's things to discuss that we can discuss at a normal level. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of discussion about Peter Obi and his movement, seeing that he's quite popular, as you understand, and people are interested. But what do you say of the belief that Nigeria has not, in any recent elections, moved towards issue-based politics, and that it remains strictly some kind of big man system where the exit of one person can in fact cause ripple effects to the party that has been left behind?
You mean P2B's exit from the ADC to NDC?
Yes.
Hello, if I heard you well, you are referring to P2B's exit from
Yes, Peter
NDC
Obi is the big man the big popular man who has exited a party and has joined another one. And in recent times, it has shown that politics revolves around big men, not so much the agendas or the reforms or issue-based politics of the party itself. Everyone latches on to the big man, right? So I'm asking...
Yes,
I'm asking if you agree and whether or not the ADC should be scared.
Wow, they have reasons to be scared because P2B's exit, like I said, is a clarion call by Nigerians of our generation that believe that a new Nigeria will be possible. A Nigeria that when you graduate from the school, you can be able to get employment, in the Federal Civil Service, in Central Bank of Nigeria, in CBN, in NNPC, in Federal Inland Revenue Service, all these choice agencies that have not been reserved, for the son of the big men and for the relatives of the members of the National Assembly. Nigerians that believe that every young graduate, can have opportunity to be employed on merit, in these agencies and other agencies of the government of the federation, including ministries and parastatals. P2B is a mobile political party. P2B is the moving train. P2B is the talking point. It's the phenomenon. If you move, the Nigerians that believe in a new Nigeria move. In fact, those of us that got the hint that he was going to move last 2 weeks Sunday, we even move ahead of him to go and wait for him there. So P2B is the beacon of hope that a new Nigeria is possible. So ADC have every reason to send their spokespersons, to go to media houses to begin to castigate P2B. We should be talking talking about issues. We should be talking about the character of a man who is coming to salvage Nigeria, and the character of the people, that have wanted to entrap him, in ADC. Regardless of the legal traps, that were sponsored by the Tinubu administration, because P2B made it clear on the day he declared to NDC at the home of the national leader of the party, Senator Seraki Dixon, that as of today, there is no litigation, there is no status quo antebellum. Please, the government of Bl0w Tinubu, don't come here. We don't want you to come here and distract us with litigation. We want to focus on issues. And P2B is already focusing on issues. We are talking about a government that will provide accountability, a government that will bring about qualitative education. Look at Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso's track record of investment in education in Kano State. So we are talking about issues. We are talking about the man whom Kenneth Okonkwo himself, who is now his newfound love, his newfound principal, he described him as having propensity for corruption, that having tendency for disloyalty. He was obviously referring to the disloyalty Atiku exhibited when he was Obasanjo's vice president, when it was alleged that even the president, a sitting president, had to prostrate for him before he could give him the ticket of the PDP to run for second tenure. Because of what? What was Obasanjo's sin? Obasanjo trusted him, allowed him to be in charge of the party structure, and Atiku was in charge of the party structure for the first 4 years of the administration between 1999 and 2003, and that was why Atiku had to stab him from the back, and Obasanjo had to prostrate before he could get the PDP ticket, to run for his second tenure in 2023. And that is also the reason why Obasanjo has vowed that this man shouldn't be the president of Nigeria, because he cannot be trusted. Don't Atiku represent the old face of corruption? Is there anything different between Atiku and Tinubu? Wasn't Atiku the presidential candidate of Tinubu's AC before they metamorphosed into ACN? And of course, he was part of the cabal that carried the propaganda and chased Goodluck away. That we have gone through this process before, that they conspired and chased Goodluck away with false propaganda, with insecurity, and of course that Nigeria is worse today. P2B was not part of that cabal.
We've heard all you had to say,
brought about the sudden. So what I'm saying, that P2B represent a hope that a new Nigeria is possible. P2B represent the hope that you have an electoral system when the new Nigeria that is possible will possibly come by God's grace in May 2027, that a pawn or a son of a nobody can aspire to contest election in a political party and be elected, and his vote will count. P2B represent the hope that we can have electricity, that the cabal, the principalities and powers, that have kept Nigeria in darkness, that have vowed that we shall be a generator economy.
Okere Kingdom Nnamdi, we are completely out of time. We really appreciate you coming on Newsday.
The principalities and powers that have kept Nigeria in darkness.
Human rights activist and obedient chieftain, thank you so much for joining us on News.